There is an important part in the life of the church that I'd like to read. This is something that Carl has put together to update everyone on the status of the manse. You can read along, but I'm reading this on record so that everyone who's watching will know and be able to share. Dear fellow church members, during the past several months, the Manse Task Force has been active behind the scenes, gathering the necessary information and professional opinions, in some cases multiple opinions, about the current condition of the manse, and to gain a sense of what would be required to bring the building to code and create a safe and welcoming home for our pastors and their families for decades to come. This spring, the MTF has met with engineers, architects, technical specialists, contractors, village officials, and historical experts to hear their observations and recommendations. Over the past decades, the manse was lovingly maintained and upgraded as needs arose. However, in spite of these efforts, age has inevitably taken a toll. And today we find that we must confront the building's structural, safety, and health issues. The latter forced us to find temporary housing for our first family on an expedited basis. Upon the advice of several trusted parties who've advised us on the scope of the project, it's become clear that the services of an architect are needed. And the MTF has interviewed several qualified local candidates. After careful deliberation, we've engaged the services of a well-qualified architect with experience in rehabilitation of historic structures, most notably in Sag Harbor. The architect selected, Jason Paremba of Southampton, came highly recommended by several contractors that have contributed to the work of our church. Please note, if you have questions or comments for Jason, they're most certainly welcome, but we respectfully ask that you bring them to the MTF and allow us to forward them to him to avoid crossed wires. It is the MTF's aim to begin the actual work in the spring of 2027. Between now and then, you may notice representatives of the architect's firm and other technical experts on the property. In the meantime, the MTF has formed a financial advisory team consisting of Hillary Malecki, Wendy Mott, Josh Borsak, and an outside financial expert, Marie Toulantis. This team is focusing on funding the project. Your input, of course, is top priority. In the same spirit as the manse discussion session the congregation was invited to last fall, the MTF plans to host an informal lunch in July, a date to be confirmed later, to allow congregation members to discuss the project in greater detail and allow you to pose your individual questions to the respective experts involved. We welcome one-to-one conversations with church members who've taken an interest in the project. Several of you have already spoken and met with Ricky Chapman or Carl DeBoer, and these conversations have been very helpful in guiding the team. We encourage others who wish to meet to contact Carl to set up a time and day. We believe this is the right path forward. Working together as a congregation, we will succeed in renovating the manse, not just as a long-term home for our pastor, but will preserve this precious asset for another 150 years or more.